Hello everyone, welcome back to Google Class. Today I am going to discuss with you all Transfer of Property Act, Section 82 of TP Act 1882. Section 82 explained contribution to mortgage debt. Okay, the meaning of the payment of a proportionate share of a liability which has been borne by one or only of a number equally liable. Here, contribute means to give a common object or to lend support. Okay, contribution means the act of contributing a share. Okay, and section 82 explained about contribution to mortgaged debt where property subject to a mortgage belongs to two or more persons having distinct and separate rights of ownership. Therein, the different shares in or parts of such property owned by such persons or A or R, in the absence of a contract to the contrary, liable to contribute relatively to the debt secured by the mortgage, and for the purpose of determining the rate at which each such share or part shall contribute, the value thereof shall be deemed to be its value at the date of the mortgage, after deduction of the amount of any other mortgage or charge to which it may have been subject on that day. And second para of the section 82, where of two properties belonging to the same owner, one is mortgaged to secure one debt and then both are mortgaged to secure another debt, and the former debt is paid out of the former property, each property is, in the absence of a contract to the contrary, liable to contribute ratably to the later debt after deducting the amount of the former debt from the value of the property out of which it has been paid. So nothing in this section apply to property liable under section 81 to the claim of the subsequent mortgages. Okay, so this is what explained section 82. I'll give you an example here. A, B, C have a joint property X. Okay, A, B and C have a joint property X. They mortgaged X to, here X is a property, A is a mortgager, B is a mortgager, C, three persons. Okay, A, B and C have a joint property X. They mortgaged X to D. Okay, D is another person for 30,000 rupees. Later, A, B and C partition the joint property X. First, A, B and C have a joint property X. X is a property, joint property, one property. So they mortgaged that X property to D for 30,000 rupees for loan. Okay. Again, later A and B, C partitioned the joint property X in 3 equal shares between them, 1 by 3 each. 1 by 3 means 1 by 3A, 1 by 3B, 1 by 3C. Okay, each share. In this situation, D recovered the debt rupees 37 from C. Okay, C person. A and B are liable to pay rupees 10,000. Why? Because D recovered debit rupees 30,000 already. Now A and B are liable to pay rupees 10,000 each to C. So this is called the contribution to mortgage debt. Okay, under the section 82 of this Transfer of Property Act principle, the principle of contributing of mortgage debt depends upon the principle of natural justice and equity. Okay, the principle is that the property which is equally liable with the other property to pay a debt shall not escape, because the creditor has been paid out of the property alone. The parties who were relieved by that other from the burden of the debt should contribute ratably towards satisfaction of the debt. This is principle. And condition, we have 5 condition. Okay, section 82 give 5 conditions. Number 1, the liability under this principle is not a personal liability. Note down, the personal liability is a main thing. It is not a personal liability. Okay, it is imposed upon the mortgaged property only. Number 2, a claim to contribution arises only when the items of the hypothecation are owned by different mortgages and one of such mortgages paid more than his proportionate share. Okay, the third condition, the co-mortgagor, that is say joint owner of the property, that is co-mortgagor, who paid mortgaged debt more than his proportionate share or entire debt, is entitled to recover the balance of the amount. Okay, and we already discussed the A, B and C example, no, like this. Okay, and fourth condition, the mortgages are liable to contribute in proportion to the value of their respective items. Number 5, fifth condition, the valuation of the properties for the purpose of contribution shall be at the date of mortgage. Okay, if one of the properties is subject to an earlier encumbrance, in determining its value for the security, the amount due in respect of that encumbrance should be deducted. So the above 5 condition is mandatory as per the section 82 of the TP Act. Okay, that's all. This is the doctrine of contribution. Okay, I will give you one case law. I think this is very useful to you. Ketherlal Nakulal, Ketherlal and Nakulal versus Arilal. Here Ketherlal and Nakulal is a one person versus Harilal. Okay, so in this case 3 persons like A, B and C, 3 persons separately owned properties of unequal value, that is black acre. A is having black acre B is having white acre, C is having green acre. Okay, sorry. Black acre means BLACKACRE, black acre. White acre, WHITEACRE, white acre. And green acre, GREENACRE, green acre. Okay. So their values at the material date were 30,000 rupees value black acre, white acre value rupees 10,000, sorry 20,000 rupees, green acre market value only 10,000. Okay, black acre 30,000 market value, white acre 20,000 market value, green acre 10,000 market value of the properties. Here A and B and C acting in various combinations from time to time incurred debts, debts. Okay, in order to clear off these debts, A, B and C jointly mortgaged their 3 estates for rupees 10,000. Okay, jointly mortgaged their estates for 10,000. The total aggregate sum due at the date of mortgage from the 3 of them, there was no contract between them, either in the mortgage deed or otherwise from the 3 of them. Okay, otherwise regarding their respective shares of responsibility in the rupees 10,000. Right, here A's responsibility extended 2,000. Okay, and B responsibility to 3,000 and C responsibility to 5,000. At the date of redemption, the mortgage debt had swollen to rupees 15,000. 15. A alone redeemed by selling black acre. Okay, that is property, A's property, which was a separate estate, to the mortgagee for 35,000, that being the value of black acre at the date of redemption. Rupees 15,000 of this was applied in satisfaction of the mortgagee debt, and the balance of rupees 20,000 was retained by A. Here A filed B and C, or A sued B and C. Okay, this above example, this above illustration was given by the Supreme Court, this formula. Okay, Supreme Court given this formula. We'll see how it will be calculated. So say the coming to the brief fact of this case, the Taraklal, Kedarlal, Nakulal. Okay, Taraklal, Kedarlal, Nakulal were 3 brothers having separate properties. 3 of them executed mortgage deed on 12/6/1936 in favor of one Srimati Gayarsi, 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 for a consideration of rupees 80,000. The mortgagee sued in the year 1938 and obtained a preliminary degree for sale. Preliminary degree means sale of mortgage property from the civil court. Okay, judgment. When on 17/2, that is February 1939 for rupees 89,485 plus cost. Cost means interest, something miscellaneous expenses. Okay. If any one of the person to file before the court, the execution order degree is passed some principal amount. After, what are the expenditure and plus interest and lawyer expenditure, the petitioner expenditure, they will be added. So that means cost, COST cost. Okay. So 89,485. The degree was made final on final degree 22/12/1939. Okay. That time receiver was appointed by the court. We already discussed who is a receiver. Okay. So receiver was appointed by the court, who sold the property of Taraklal and credited rupees 1,19,116 to the mortgagee. Okay, mortgagee. Mortgagee is a loan giver. Mortgagee as final settlement as per the court order, and also credited the remaining amount in the court. Okay. In this situation, Taraklal died November 1936. Here Harilal, the plaintiff, was son of Taraklal. Okay. So the Taraklal sued Kedarlal and Nakulal. Okay. So claiming that he was entitled to receive the balance of rupees 79,744 from the two defendants, opposite party, two defendants, and that each of them was liable for a half of that sum, rupees 39,872, towards the contribution. Okay, you can divide it 39,744. Okay, this is the statement. Here the Supreme Court judgment against the plaintiff. Okay, who is the plaintiff here? Harilal. Plaintiff, holding that he had claimed separate personal relief against the defendants. Okay, this is personal relief against the defendant, and as there was no personal covenant as between the mortgagors or any contract to the contrary, that relief cannot be granted. Okay, relief cannot be granted. Relief means what he asked before the court, na? That is relief. That is prayer. Okay. The Supreme Court remanded this case of the High Court, number 1. An inquiry regarding the sum paid by the plaintiff father for satisfaction of the mortgage deed 12/6/1936. That is number 1 point. Number 2, for the interest due on that sum at the contract rate. Okay, contract rate, the mortgage from the date of payment to the date of degree. Number 3rd point, for the values of the various properties mortgaged at the date of the mortgage. Here the lordship declared that when the figures would be ascertained, they would direct that the liability of each defendant assigned separately in the manner prescribed by the Section 82 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882. Here the principles. What principle? The Supreme Court held that both Section 43 of the Contract Act and 82 of the Transfer of Property Act deal with the questions of contribution. Section 43 of Contract Act is a provision of the Act dealing with the contracts generally. Section 82 applies to mortgages. as the right to contribution here arose out of a mortgage, section 82 must exclude section 43, because when there is a general law and a special law dealing with a particular matter, the special law excludes the general, there being no contract to the contrary. Here, A's only remedy was under section 92 of the Transfer of Property Act, read with section 82 of the TP Act. TP Act means Transfer of Property Act. As there was no personal covenant as between the mortgagors or any contract to the contrary, the plaintiff A could not claim separate personal relief against the defendants B and C. The second point, the Supreme Court would be slow to throw out a claim on a mere technically of pleading when the substance of the thing is there and no prejudice is caused to the other side. However, clumsily or inartistically the plaint may be worded. If any event, it is always open to a court to give a plaintiff such general or other relief as it deems just to the same extent as if it had been asked for, provided that occasions no prejudice to the other side behind what can be compensated for in cost, cost. The third point, the final point of this case law, the method of computation is contribution, calculation, is a matter of law, and it is for the judge to apply the law to the facts stated and give the plaintiff such relief as is appropriate to the case. Okay, this is section 82 clearly indicated. That's all. I understand. Okay, I'll finish this session. Okay, we'll meet you again next Google class. Okay, next video class. Thank you, students. All the best. Bye.